formulators, welcome back to my channel where we talk all things skincare formulation. So today I'm changing things up a bit and making a Blackberry Goji whipped body butter. This is actually the beginning of a series on body butters. I'm using Shea Butter, Sal Butter, Blackberry seed oil, and Goji berry seed oil. I'm also using some isopropyl myristate to reduce greasiness, as well as silica microspheres. By the time we get done with this series, I'm hoping you'll have a really good understanding of the structure of body butters, as well as the process. So let's get into it. So starting with our heated phase, the first ingredient I'm adding to my beaker is 30 grams of Sal Butter. Next, I'm adding 20 grams of Shea Butter. 7.5 grams of isopropyl myristate. 20 grams of Goji berry seed oil. And lastly, 2 grams of silica microspheres. And that is our heated phase. So I'm going to cover this with some aluminum foil and put it in a double boiler for about 20 minutes until the butters are melted. So it's been about 20 minutes and the Shea Butter and Sal Butter have both completely melted. As you can see, the solution is not completely clear and it's not going to be. That's because of the silica microspheres that are in the formula. And now it's time to add our remaining 2 ingredients. So in this bowl, I've weighed out 20 grams of blackberry seed oil and 0.5 grams of vitamin E. I'm going to stir for about a minute before moving on to the next step. It's time to transfer my melted and combined ingredients into this bowl that I only use for skincare formulation and that I'll be using to whip this butter up.
Don't you think we're done? Don't you think we're done?
I'm putting this into the fridge for about 20 minutes so it can start to solidify before I start whipping it. The whipping process will be done in multiple Cool Whip cycles.
Don't you think we're done?
So it's been about 25 minutes and this is the consistency that I've ended up with after about 25 minutes in the fridge. So as you can see, it's a pretty uniform, semi-solid consistency. Now your mileage may vary depending on your fridge settings, as well as your ambient temperature, as well as the melting point of the butters that you're using. But this is what you're looking for. I did stir this periodically as I was waiting for it to solidify. If you've ever done this before, you'll know that the parts of the mixture that are touching the bowl will usually solidify before the rest. So it's a good idea to stir those bits into the mixture while you're waiting for everything to solidify. So I'm going to go ahead and start whipping this up. I am using my hand mixer with just one of these attachments.
Looked at me. Don't know what to do, what to say to make you leave with me.
So this is what it looks like after the first whipping, which was only about 1 minute or so. I am putting this back into the freezer. It definitely needs to solidify a little bit more before we can really start getting the air into the mixture. So it's been about 10 minutes and I think that was actually a little too long because now this is a little bit too solid, but that's okay. I did switch out my attachment on my hand mixer, so this is going to be much easier to work with now that the product has solidified a little bit too much. So this is what the butter looks like after the second whipping. I am going to put this back into the fridge and whip it at least one more time. So it's been about 10 minutes and it is time to whip this up again. It's probably going to be the last whipping cycle. And as you can see, I did add some purple mica to it as well.
Don't you think we're done? Don't you think we're done?
So I whipped this for about 5 minutes during the last whipping cycle, and now it is time for packaging. So I am using this 6-ounce octagonal glass jar.
Knew that it was true from the way you looked at me. Don't know what to do, what to say to make you leave with me. Make me feel alive. Take my hand and run, let me be the one. Let's just take the drive.
So here's what the butter looks like all packaged. You can see it's quite thick. And then I'm going to do a swatch so you can see how it applies and what the absorption is like. So as you can see, it does melt immediately upon application because it does consist entirely of lipids. I did apply way too much. You definitely wouldn't use this much, but it does have a really nice skin feel. So the inclusion of isopropyl myristate and silica microspheres give it a rather lightweight feeling on the skin. And it doesn't feel as greasy as other butters that I've used. So at this point, it feels like it's almost completely absorbed, but as you can see, it does leave a reflective finish on the skin. If you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much.
Night's only begun. Don't you think we're done?